Hey, how's it going? I'm Tim Holtz, Creative Director for Ranger, and I'm here to share with you a very cool and exciting update we've done to one of my favorite products, which is Color Wash. And the cool thing about this is the same great formula you've come to love about Color Wash because it is a textile dye. But not only have we updated the bottle a bit, but we have changed the sprayer and we have improved this so it creates the most incredible mist of color you've seen. So let's check it out. So here is the new Adirondack Color Wash, and I say new because we've done some really great things with this line. First of all, we have updated the package into these really great bottles, and so these are easier to fit in your hand. I think that nice presentation in there. We've updated the sprayer, improved the sprayer, so it's a much finer mist, which is really great, especially with Color Wash. Now, Color Wash is a textile dye, so that really opens this up to a lot of different surfaces. But we thought we really wanted to update the palette as well, so we've added 4 great colors to the Color Wash line. We have Sunset Orange that we've added to that. We've also added Meadow, so we've got a really great neutral green. Sailboat Blue, which is now a really bright, fun blue to the line, and Purple Twilight. So you can see that with the wonderful earth tones of the Color Wash, we've also stepped it up with some brighter colors. And these are really, really nice because these are going to apply a translucent color to anything porous. This will work on paper, on wood, on fabric, ribbon, canvas, all sorts of things. And because it is a textile dye, and it's the only textile dye that Ranger does, I wanted to show you some really interesting things that Color Wash does over our other ink products. So let me kind of set these aside. We'll gather them up. I'm working on a non-stick craft sheet. Definitely want to work on a protected surface, and I just want to kind of show you some things about Color Wash that's really important that I like to share. So first thing, of course, I'm just going to mist it now. The mister, again, like I talked about the sprayer, it's an improved sprayer, so it's got this little divot for your finger, and that's important because you want to make sure that you don't spray this the wrong direction. It is a textile dye. So I'm just going to go ahead and mist this out, and you can see that fine mist right there gives this really great airbrush quality to Color Wash that we feel it's been missing for quite some time. So you're really going to love the sprayer. Now, when we mist this on, I always like to show how concentrated this colorant is. Again, it is a textile dye, so the color is far more concentrated than any other dyes that we have. Now, if you're working on paper, let me just grab a heat tool real quick. If I go to dry this, if you work on paper or wood, anything like that, the color really becomes intense, especially when you're drying it. So I always like to give you some variations of what you can do when you're applying this color. I love the Sailboat Blue. Really great. You'll see this intense blue, but also it still doesn't lose its vibrancy because it is one of the bright tones in the Adirondack line. So you can see that really great color there. Now, let me show you something really cool. If I take this, again, let me work with a mini mister this time. I'm going to spray my surface. Now, I'm just working on a tag just for demonstration. This could have been a piece of fabric, a piece of white paper. It doesn't really matter. But here, I'm really flooding this with water. And watch what happens now when I give it just a little spritz of color. Whoa, check that out. Look how that just moves everywhere. And you could go in, we could introduce a completely different color on there. And it just, oh, it's so cool because like I said, it is a textile dye. You can add a lot of water to this and really see how this color flows across the paper. If you were going to use this on fabric, for example, if you wanted to dye fabric, maybe you wanted to use it on a t-shirt or a scarf or something, first of all, it needs to be natural. So it needs to be silk or cotton or something. It couldn't be anything synthetic. You would, of course, dye the fabric with Color Wash. You could spray it on or anything like that. You would then want to heat set this. It could be heat set with a heat tool. I like to kind of go extreme here. I would heat it with a heat tool to dry it. Then I would use an iron to heat set it and even throw it in the dryer before I wash it. And of course, when you wash it, you've got to remember, if you haven't dyed fabric before, that the first time you wash it, you're still going to remove any unset dye. So it will always become a little lighter than what it initially starts out being. So keep that in mind when it comes to fabric. And we'll have some other videos more specific to fabric. But I just wanted to show how wonderful those colors are. So now let's go to something like canvas. Here, I'll throw in a piece of sticky back. Let me mop this up. I got quite an ink there. It's difficult in this video. If I was home, man, I'd be dipping something into this ink. Right now, it will have to be a paper towel. Alright, so let's go in with some canvas. This is our sticky back canvas. So this is adhesive back canvas. It comes white or natural. So you get to decide what surface or what base you want to start with. Let's go in with some real fun colors. Here we go. Ooh, look at that sunset orange. A little butterscotch. Let's go in, mix this up. And I love, again, that whole airbrush property to that new sprayer. Now, you can see how this really permeates that surface because this was dry canvas. But if I wanted to get that wet first, so here I'm just going to mist this area, you can see how that starts to turn yellow. That's from that butterscotch overspray. One of the things that we always talk about as well, and we repeat that it's a textile dye, is it's very sensitive to water. A little bit goes a long way. It's incredibly concentrated, and that's why it's so great for porous things. Most dyes, you know, when you'd spray on fabric, you'd really lose your color. Not with color wash. Look at that. Intense color. And I can do some crazy stuff. Here I'm taking a bigger bottle of water, and I'm just going to soak this whole thing just to show you that no matter how much water I add to this, my color is not going to fade away, but it's going to move. It's going to do a lot more play in there. Because we are dealing with these dyes, we can create some really cool things. So I'll just dry this a little bit. I'm not going to dry it all the way. That would be boring, but I just want to show you that once this dries, you don't even lose the intensity of the color because color wash just has that really great vibrancy. Check that out. All right, so let's clean this up again. A waste of ink. How sad. I'll show you something else about the fact that we have something in a spray. So here I'm going to go in with a mask. We'll take a mask. This is a repositionable vinyl. So it's got a repositionable adhesive on the back. So I'm just going to stick that down. And I'll just place this down just onto a tag again just to show you. And I'm just going to tap this down just to make sure that it's on there. Here I'll go in with some colors. So let's go in with a little bit of stream. I'm just going to mist this on. And again, depending on how close or far you are from your surface, that's obviously going to determine the spray pattern. So if you want to have a finer mist, maybe you want to be further away. But remember that whole overspray, a little bit of color wash, once you get it wet, it becomes pretty intense. So keep in mind if you don't want to have a purple remote control or whatever else is in your path of color wash, just be careful. Here I'm spraying some water because I want to get that dye kind of moving and grooving. I'll go in with a paper towel and I'm just going to start blotting some of this off. Alright, and our masked area is still protected under there. So I'm going to dry this. Now you're really not supposed to heat a mask with a heat tool. So right now I'm just kind of lightly wanding over the surface. I don't want to get that mask hot, otherwise it will just melt. So I'm just going to set that a second just so it's not really wet around the masked area. I'm able to carefully lift this off. I'll set this aside. I'll clean this later. This is just going to clean with water, so I'll do that later. And then I have my masked area. Now I can continue to dry this and just be done, or remember what I was saying about color wash doing some really great things with water. I'm just going to start misting this, and I'm going to allow that color wash to start going inside that area. Look at that. Ooh, cool. Yeah. Listen, I could be here all day talking to you guys about color wash because it's just super cool. I'll just dry it with a heat tool. And I could go back with another color. If I wanted to lighten this some more, I would go in with water. Now, one of the things I definitely want to point out about color wash, yes, you're going to get ink on your hands. So definitely want to get one of Ranger's craft scrubbies because you're going to need that to take this dye off of your hands. It's a textile dye, so soap and water is not going to cut it on this one. So if you are going out for that fancy dinner and you don't have a craft scrubby with you, you might want to wear gloves for this one. But really, really fun. I love the intensity of color wash, and you know me, I'm all about using all different types of ink, but color wash, that's a cool one. And I would stamp on this, you know, dry it out. Of course, you can iron this to keep it flat. So hopefully you've got just a little bit of inspiration with color wash. And remember, we've got 4 new colors to this. Beautiful, updated bottle and an improved sprayer that I think you are going to love, just misting your cares away. So there you go. Hope you had fun.